Chances are you've worn clothes labeled Made in Bangladesh. But what's the real story behind that label? Today, I'll show you how globalization transformed Bangladesh into a garment powerhouse and the challenges that come with it. Globalization is the growing interconnectedness of economies and cultures, driven by cheaper transport, digital tech, and TNCs, the key architects of globalization. Globalization has led to the outsourcing of manufacturing from developed countries to cheaper locations in the global south, a process known as the global shift. Bangladesh stands out as one of the most dramatic examples of this shift, with a 416% rise in the textiles industry workforce. So why did Bangladesh become the world's garment capital? There were strong pull factors that attracted TNCs like Primark. Wages as low as $113 a month, a labor force of over 4 million, export processing zones with tax breaks and relaxed regulations. Making a denim shirt in the US cost $13 to $14, in Bangladesh just 3 to 4. This cost gap attracted huge FDI, turning the country from a mainly agrarian society into an NIC. Garments now make up 80% of Bangladesh's exports, worth nearly $47 billion. It is the world's second largest garment exporter, behind only China. But who really profits? According to dependency theory, countries like Bangladesh sit on the periphery of the global economy. They supply cheap labor to the wealthier core nations that control profits. This creates a monoculture economy, dangerously reliant on one industry, making it vulnerable to external shocks. For example, Trump's 37% tariff continues to threaten Bangladesh's export economy. Moreover, most of the profits from this industry don't stay in Bangladesh. They're repatriated by foreign companies back to headquarters in developed countries. Still, the RMG industry has brought real opportunities. It employs over 4.5 million people, 80% women. For many women, it meant entering the workforce for the first time. A study found that girls living near garment factories were 29% less likely to give birth and 28% less likely to marry early. Additionally, the industry has helped lift millions out of absolute poverty. But progress comes at a cost. Bangladesh is caught in a race to the bottom, cutting wages and workers' rights to stay competitive. Sweatshops, unsafe factories, child labor, and lack of unions wage theft. One garment worker said, "There is constant pressure. We feel like we are simmering on a stove." On April 24, 2013, disaster struck the Bangladesh garment industry. The Rana Plaza, an 8-story building, collapsed due to a structural failure, killing 1,134 people and injuring over 2,000. Despite visible cracks appearing the day before, workers were forced to return. This tragedy remains the worst industrial disaster in garment industry history. Fast fashion doesn't just exploit workers, it kills the planet. Because trends change so quickly, most out-of-fashion clothes end up in landfills or are incinerated. Textile dyeing is the second largest water polluter. In Bangladesh, rivers like the Buruganga pictured are now biologically dead from toxic dye waste. Dyeing also releases PFAs, forever chemicals linked to cancer and infertility. One study found them in 87% of water near EPZs. Producing one cotton shirt takes 2,700 liters of water, enough for one person's drinking needs for 2.5 years. In water-stressed Bangladesh, this embedded water is effectively exported through clothing to the global north. This is environmental injustice. Bangladesh bears the pollution, the West enjoys cheap clothes. What's next? Bangladesh can't rely on garments alone. It must diversify to build a stronger, more resilient economy. But change must also come from global brands. Global brands must ensure ethical supply chains and take corporate responsibility. And finally, yes, we must embrace the fashion. Buy less, but better. Next time you see Made in Bangladesh on a label, you know the story behind the label. Who made it? What did they earn? And is it worth the true cost?